Morning, everybody. My question for you today is, do you feel burdened right now? Our verse is Psalm 55:22. Cast your burden on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be moved. Do you find yourself weighed down with worry? I know from personal experience that can be really easy to get into that game of what ifs and get that going in your head, and it just keeps going in circles. It never seems to be good, the what ifs either. Can you relate? Our verse tells us to, instead of holding on to them and ruminating on them, we are to throw them to God. Let go. He is our sustainer, our foundation, our solid rock that we stand on. That's our food for thought for today. And a recipe for today is Cranberry Kombucha Smoothie. And there's kind of a couple ways that we can do this. As far as the kombucha, I mean, you can use like a cranberry flavored kombucha. I didn't happen to have any of that, so I'm just using a strawberry flavored one. I don't personally make kombucha, but my mom does, and she has overstock. So I bring home bottles with me and use that. What it is, kombucha, in case you're unaware, is fermented tea. And this, what we actually make ours from, is fermented white tea. You're going to have a variety, if you go to the store, a variety of different types of kombucha. And more often than not, especially if they're dark in color or darker, they're actually going to be made with black tea. That means you will have caffeine in it. So this is not something you're necessarily going to want to drink late in the day, but since we're doing this for breakfast and we're using white tea, which is basically the lowest thing on the caffeine index, shouldn't be too much of a problem. So I'm using the Magic Bullet cup because it's convenient, and I only want to make one serving, and I don't want to spend a bunch of time cleaning. I do have another blender. That's class. And I'm going to start by, I have some supplements in here, and I'm going to add a quarter of a cup of unsweetened organic coconut milk. And then this is the kombucha. And I'm going to use about 3/4 of a cup of the kombucha. And of course, precise measurement is done on a flat surface. That's good. One of the things you'll notice if you use, especially if you use fresh fruit, is that the kombucha will actually suck the color out of any fruit you put in there. So that's why it's a little pink. It's because it did have some strawberry in there and it pulled that out. All right, so that was 1/4 cup of unsweetened organic coconut milk, 3/4 of a cup of kombucha, and for the cranberry, I'm actually going to use freeze-dried cranberries. You could use fresh or frozen. No dried ones. It's not going to work very well. Plus, they're usually sweetened. You really don't need that much sweetening. I'm just going to put about 4 of them in there. I don't want to have a massive amount. And then I'm going to use about a cup Greenies. or take. And this is the mixed greens that I usually use, which is, at the moment, largely kale and spinach. Has a little bit of chard in there too. All right, and the last ingredient is a quarter of an avocado. Get a knife here. Get a little bit off the pit here. Don't want to waste it. Particularly right now, while avocados are not cheap. Obviously, they're not in season exactly right now. But I don't want to, completely not use them, so I'm just cutting back a bit right now because the cost of them is like double what it normally is. But green drinks really do taste so much better with avocado in them. Especially if you're trying to keep your sugars down and don't want to put banana in it. Makes it smooth and creamy. Kind of like banana would without all the sugars. Okay, so putting the top on. And blending it. Trying to get some of it to mix up. It's not going to mix. It's at the bottom exactly, but and so it actually will have a little bit of kind of like the kiwi taste. You have kind of the tart and sweet at the same time. Somewhat similar to that, but with its own little kick. But this is great for urinary issues or things like that, or just general detoxification. Cranberries are amazing, just not loaded with sugar. All right, that is our smoothie recipe for today. We'll be back with another smoothie recipe next week, and of course, another verse. So I will see you next Tuesday at 8 a.m. See you then.